Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing well. I had a pretty good day. I don't know, it's a little, no, I guess not disappointed, but there was this one friend on Facebook, and his name's Nathaniel, like, an angel, or I think that's his name. But he's like, I'm a pretty big deal. More people should like my posts. I said, why don't you go check out my YouTube video yesterday talking about the Noahide laws? I'm not sure he watched my video because he came back and he said, well, for the most part, there wasn't much wrong with the morality of the Noahide laws. And I said, for the most part, did you read into the Talmudic scripts, the satanic part that says, I told him about raping babies and that type of stuff. So for the most part, whatever. I mean, I always do love and like people's posts. It's like all the time. I don't, maybe he's liked one of mine. I'm not even sure. It's like, so you're a very big deal. Yeah, aren't we all? you know, he could have the biggest deal right under his face and not even know it. Like me, I can be talking to angels unaware. So you never know. So anyway, but yeah, my whole country is crazy today. This is a major crazy train day. I'll tell you about my thoughts. Um, just really quick. Talk about genocide in the world for 1 second. Look how many Jewish people there are from their culture all the way around the world still. But just look in the United States alone, how many indigenous people are left in their own country. But today, they're telling me that I'm supposed to honor a fallen for my freedom that God gave me, by the way. No person fought for my freedom, actually, any more than I have myself. Some people are scaredy cats and don't stand up for themselves, and other people just go along with what their governments say, and they honor a flag more than they do God Himself. And I can't do that. I won't do it, you know. So we got these people on their Memorial Day saying Happy Memorial Day. Happy what? I still say the forefathers of the indigenous people, no matter what country they are in, should be respected. And treaties were signed by the founding fathers in America with the Native Americans, and those treaties were broken before the ink was even dry. And that's a fact. I can cite you if you would like me to look many incidences of that up for you. I will. Um, they were betrayed and still are being betrayed. And every time they have holidays like this, I'm thinking, no, it's the sacrifice was made by the real founding fathers. And you know what? I don't know if you've ever been welcomed into a Native American community and actually sat with people and got to know them as human beings. But it's a different type of atmosphere, I guess is what I'm saying. No, I'm not gonna respect anybody that learn how to be a psychopath, to be a part of this psychopathic system and honor a fallen in that respect. I'm sorry. they lost their lives doing what they maybe thought was the right thing to do. But these were, and here's for the most part, adult human beings making a decision to possibly take another human being's life. If you're in a situation where you have to defend yourself, that's one thing. But if you are a part of a pre-planned agenda that is Satan using countries all over the world and his own, the world leaders directing these wars and getting into these wars, the people of the world are not doing this. This is the leaders of the countries doing this, and all wars are Satan's wars. All wars are for money and power. Excuse me. Itchy nose. Always get a, must be my kitty fur, maybe. But, yeah. Oh, Darla, another thing on putting our dates on our videos now, or in our videos. Um, like today is May 30th, 2022, because then uh, people can't plagiarize your stuff as easy. I was thinking of people that have content like they take mine all the time. I'll say things and you'll see a version of it out there after I had documentation on Facebook of things that I had written that I saw people like Global Witness, for one, on the scriptures of John, maybe being written by Mary, but or maybe is not the word that I would use, but I guess different things that I've written out there that Facebook literally demolished about 10 years of people's work a little while ago here. They literally took about many years off of our timelines. I had pictures, lucky I saved it, of my birth father, and I had never met him. I had only seen his picture, talked to him on the phone, and had a letter from him that I burnt. I sort of regret. But yeah, if I hadn't have saved his picture, I wouldn't have anything. So yeah, they took a lot of information off there, and I couldn't prove that people stole it. It's like, and that's just one person in particular, and they do know they did that because these are people that I had been in contact with decades ago. Like, even for instance, David Icke, I've talked to him personally via the internet. He knows who I am. This is way before there were thousands and millions of people. This is like the when things were in its infancy, you know. So yeah, these people, and there's many more that I could just say, yeah. But now with dates on things inside of our videos, they can still take um content from your video. But I think too, just having it dated. For one thing, how do you for yourself say, like, if somebody is proving something they said through their timeline, or through their videos, and wanted to go look something up and couldn't specifically remember the title of it, but you might remember the month or the year? We can't even do that anymore. you know if my kids typed in a date, like say my birthday on one day or 1 year or something, um and then couldn't find what they were looking for, well, they'd have to go through like 1,300 videos to find what. But I mean, yeah. So it will stop some of the plagiarism, I think. You know, hopefully. And I did do it for an example for the people that are trying to make a living off that. And their work is very extensive, and a lot of people have very expensive equipment and things that is entailed in making their living, so it's important. And I really feel like it's intentional towards us to keep us from uncovering more truth. If you could just look up a year of a video, you know, or an incident, and you're looking for something in particular, you may never find it because they have covered up our dates. I mean, I've seen a couple dates on some things, but it's just weird if it's not recent, like 2 or 3 days, and then it just goes out into the wild blue yonder, and God knows, you know. Unless, like I say, you go to a person's channel and look through every one of their videos if you're looking for something that happened on a certain day. Like, okay, say today or on the 29th, I didn't get to see any of the meteors that they said were going to fall to the earth because it's been cloudy and rainy. But if I wanted to look that up, and that's a day in particular on a friend's channel, I wouldn't be able to find it. I'd have to go through the whole thing if they were lucky enough to capture it. So, yeah, I think it's kind of a shady deal, especially for the people that are making, well, we're all making money for them by publishing stuff, so, you know. But the ones that have advertisements and that type of thing, it's truly a disservice to people in general. It makes no sense. What's a little blotch of ink on an electronic document? It could make or break it. Well, it could break it. That's my point. It does nothing to them to have that on there, unless they were intentionally trying to hide the truth of certain situations from people. And another thing that I've touched on that I've only heard one other person touch on, and he's said to be the head Luciferian in the United States, SJD, Stephen James DeShawn, touched on, I do believe, the difference between John the Baptist and John the Baptizer. John the Baptizer was, I do believe, another name, a satanic position of that bloodline, or Satan himself, is what I had read and come to the conclusion of myself through my studies, because some of the missing documentation in between, like what was written in say from would be in the book of Luke, I think, and the book of John. There's discrepancies anyway in the way that it's worded, and the areas that the incidences happened in. So I had it all documented anyway. So I'm sure other people will glean a few things there and maybe go back and open it back up and take a look at it, because I already know I don't need to learn it. I'm just telling you, just because, just talking. But yeah, this person saying that a religion's okay for the most part, well, then I'll only slap you a little bit. And for the most part, I didn't slap you. And we'll only rape a baby just a tiny bit. We won't really rape it because it's a goyim and it's not Jewish. That would be okay. Now, I've had enough of you. I told you, scram. My cat. She thinks it's time to cuddle. I'll cuddle her before I take a shower, so no, it's not time. But I did have to get this made if I wanted to make one because we do have, from what they say, probably like 84-mile-an-hour winds coming with possibilities of tornadoes, which is sort of early in our tornado season here. So, excuse me, got my exercises done, and yes, I did have some chocolate, not a whole bar like I was telling you. I probably have that part, and yeah, I had it. But yeah, and I didn't eat a whole lot of chicken strips either. And I made instead of French fries, I made potato rounds, if you know what they are. Not tater tots, but just they're like tiny little hash browns, is what they are. So I had some of them, and not too bad. I'm gonna probably make a sandwich out of some of my chicken fingers that I have left, and I think put lettuce and mayo on it, and maybe some chips and maybe some more chocolate. I think I don't know. I have to see if I start gaining weight, then I'm gonna cut that right out. But right now I'm not. Um, I think I do sleep better when I don't eat things I'm allergic to. But it's supposed to be some sort of holiday. I guess I can give myself an excuse to eat junk food. If everybody else can give themselves an excuse to patronize murder, well, then I think I'll just eat some chocolate and celebrate having a, a membrane that literally contains some knowledge that works in conjunction with the Word of God. So, yeah. Was that a polite way to put it? That they're all fucking whacked. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Uh, dress your little babies up like soldiers, teach them young. Just do that, really. And I would suggest while you're at it, just get them a tutu and teach them the Nutcracker Suite. That would be. I was a sugar plum fairy. I think that would be beautiful for every little soldier to become a sugar plum fairy first. Because then when they're out on the battlefield, maybe they'll truly have that feminine compassion that I guess most females are supposed to have. But the brainwashed society is like, oh yeah, hail Satan, go get him. We're going to war. Oh yeah, let's throw our money at him. Hey, how about if we put our hands on our hearts and say that we love our country more than we do God? How does that sound? Or how about if we go to war and then right before we kill somebody, we tell God how much we love him and everybody on the planet? We could really obey him like that, right? That sounds like a plan. This today is so stupid to me. It always has been. Just repulsive. People going to the cemeteries and all their whatever they do. And I saw somebody in my town. Oh, that was beautiful. It was. You're standing around in your dress blues or whatever you've got on, folding up flags, blowing your horns, and um, honoring somebody you think saved your fucking life. It's amazing. Wow. After Vietnam, I thought people would understand how scammed it all is all over the world. You'd think. I mean, these aren't little warring tribes in Africa because Ukululu stole Boo Boo and they wanted to get Boo Boo back, and so they were like fighting because of that reason or something. No, this is for uh, land and oil, and actually it's about power and fear and greed and money, but they'll tell you whatever they want to tell you, and nobody still supports Palestine. Them poor Palestinians, and Jerusalem is their capital. It's always been their capital. And the poor Palestinians are still getting shunned in their own country. And nobody says peep. Boy, the minute some Khazar country has trouble, conflict, being caught with labs that are genetically modifying things and stuff that the old P guy over there in the R um, area of Europe is trying to stop. But yeah, we can't really speak the truth. You better go lay down there. Don't you get on my bad side. Twerp. So she's a good cat, though. She does usually listen really well. Yeah. I had to go put their food out in their house today, although they do like to hang around the porch, the outside ones, because of all the rain and all that. Well, I had took what I had made my chicken fingers. I had used part oil and part butter to fry it, and then I took the flour that I used to dredge them in, and with that, and I made them a gravy. But I put milk in there for protein, and they just love stuff like that. I go up there; they have a ton of food still in their house, and I put that gravy down, and they started eating the gravy right away. So, yeah, I made a lot of it for them, and it'll be mostly gone tomorrow. Like three, four of them outdoor kitties. Like, here's a for instance, I threw out like a loaf of bread. One day I had a loaf of French bread, and I kind of sailed it over to the picnic table. And the one I call Heart Baby went and played fetch, and it was frozen. She started eating it right away. That was the day before yesterday. Then yesterday I had a loaf of Italian that was sliced, and I put some of it on the porch and some of it on the ground. And there's like maybe one piece left. And this is they've got kitty food out in their house. Um, Special chicken for outdoor kitties. But they'd rather eat something I give them, like a treat, you know, more than they would that type of thing. So, and I don't blame them. I'm sure it does taste better, but they do love bread. It's just crazy. I think too, for the energy, the two little girl ones are nursing mommies. So for the carbohydrates in that, and that's why I put the whey protein in there. And with the butter for all the, there's a lot of, it's really fatty and very dairy like for them. So it'd be like eating milk protein pellets with extra fat. That's just perfect for a nursing mommy kitty. So yeah, they're loving it. So yeah, Doug was outside today cleaning up the yard, and I was gonna tell him a joke. I go, do you want to hear something funny? He goes, not now. He's about ready to pass out there. It feels like it's cool if the wind is blowing, but the minute the wind stops, it's humid. And he was out in the sun, and so yeah, you got to be careful, especially when you do get older. You can't really push yourself like that. And then too, working in the heat of the day is silly. But um, you know, he was going to go to a swap meet today and sell some Hot Wheels that he has, and just look what they have around, and a car show. Asked if I wanted to go, and I said at first, consider it, but probably not. And then I just made it probably not, and then confirmed it again. No, it's absolutely not. But this is the town where I first took my nurse's training. in 1972. And every time I go to that town, even when I work there, I can't stand the people there. I don't know, it's something weird about it. They're so snooty. I don't know. The name of the town is Cambridge. Maybe they think because they have a tech school, but they don't even have a Cambridge University. They have a high school. I think too that might have been part of it. My high school and their high school were rivals. And when I was able to be a lunch lady at the school that I had gone to part of my high school in, um, oh, we would feed them kids good. But even back in my day, athletically, we always beat them. They weren't too bright academically either, but there were a lot of drugs up in their city. Whereas in my little town, well, my address was Bethel. There was 100 people, but my high school was in St. Francis, and I think there was in the town like 473 people. But all the kids that would come from the outlying areas in the country, were a lot more, But yeah, little places. They're big now, getting very big. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even want to go down around there. It's too cityfied. Even where I live, it's too cityfied. Getting there. But yeah, I really have that on my mind today. Memorial Day is disgusting. Yes, remember your loved ones, but don't sit there and tell me when you're so brainwashed that you think that anybody made you free by going and fighting in another country. You're out of your mind. If you care about people in their country so much, give the founding the real to give the indigenous elders back their country, and they can commission people just like any legislature or cabinet does, and run the country and corporations. Oh yeah, if you knew the money these people make in their casinos, boy, have they bamboozled the white man. Boy, what thou takest, thou gettest back. Man, they're badass at that. That's bad. Boy, they've really demolished and excelled. They have excelled. you know, they drive way better cars than I'll ever drive. So, well, I don't know about that. We've got some handmade things that they couldn't even think about making, but that's another story. But um, you know, and they're priceless hot rods and stuff. But yeah, still, my point being, they do what they do well, and the compassion that the Native Americans actually have in their heart, in their soul, they would never do to people in our country that they've had done to them. And I think that's what the biggest fear is. As well, they should be. But yeah, just consider that when you have your where God blessing these people that were willing to take another human being's life, and they didn't say no as an adult for themselves or their families, but they would rather insist and persist. Yeah, I know. Just a minute, please. I'm doing a video. I know it is. I'm gonna light this fire. Okay. You might want to shut the windows out here. I might have to. Thank you. Are you feeling better? Okay. Okay. But yeah, if you're in when your days come around in your country where they're honoring the soldiers like that and stuff, it's not that I don't honor the human being or their life or even being bamboozled into a system that needs to end. It's possible we end all wars. We, the people, we're the people. It's our forefathers, and yes, everybody I know was in the military basically. And nobody really hates me for speaking the truth, but nobody's really getting up alongside of me and saying, you know what, I'm going to start telling more people the same thing. Yes, love your loved ones that's gone, but feel some sorrow because they didn't know any better. You do know better. Be honest in your hearts. You know exactly what I'm telling you is the truth. So that's all I can say. Well, thank you for joining me. Peace and love wherever you're at, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.